welcome to the podcast on 1111, Kim's angel number. So it's very fitting that we have Kim Dean on the podcast today. We all know I love this lady, but not as much as my daughter. Finley's obsessed with all things Kim Dean. And she was super excited that I was having you on today and a little bit jealous. I'll say she's a little jealous. So today we are talking about no hustle, all intention as we plan our business for 2026. Welcome to the Happy Agent Podcast, the place where real estate agents get real. I'm Courtney Benson, a Wall Street Journal ranked top 1% agent based in Dallas, Texas. After over a decade in this business, I realized something. This industry is full of gaslighting nonsense. The hustle culture, the polished perfection, the pressure to pretend. Yeah, we're done with that. This podcast is where we start doing things differently. We're bringing back the fun, the alignment, the real connection. With a grounded mindset, a lot of laughs, and total authenticity, we're showing up as ourselves to attract the clients, the opportunities, and the life we actually want. No, it's not always perfect, but we're here, we're building something better, and we're doing it together. You may have seen me on Inman News or catch me live on the NAR stage this September. But right now, let's get into today's episode. We know that we can't move forward if we don't look back. And if we continue to do the same thing year after year, because we are taught and trained to do the same thing year after year, right? Are you talking to your sphere? Are you making video? Like it's the same crap. And honestly, it's just maddening.
It is. And I feel like the business plan, people complicate it. And I don't like complicated. And when agents get something that's complicated, they don't do it. And so I've learned over the last couple of years, I keep refining the business planning classes and even like the retreats. I just went on a business planning retreat. I try to keep it simple because when we can keep it simple, we're more likely to do the thing and focus on the activities that really bring us the business to begin with. We don't need to complicate it.
100%. And you know me, and I don't do complicated ever because I know I just won't do it. So
I sent Courtney my 4-page homework to work there. She's like, this feels like a lot.
I said, what do you want to talk about today, Kim? And you're like, well, I have this 4-page breakdown of business. And I was like, that feels very laborious. and I mean, if somebody wants to do it, that's great. And I'm sure Kim can provide that for you. If anybody wants Kim's 4-page download, she's got it, I'm sure, in a Google Doc ready to go. But unlike me, I just print stuff out. So I have printed out questions that I came up with. So we are going to take our 2 strengths. Kim is very framework oriented. I'm very energetics, attracting business to us. And we're going to combine the 2. So we're gonna look at doing things differently in 2026, but we're gonna keep the things that work and adapt for things that have not been working. Let's talk about the audit. Kim's got 5 questions in the framework category of auditing your business for 2025. And then I'm going to follow up with 5 energetic questions of auditing. How did you show up? So maybe you showed up, maybe you did the things, but your energy sucked and then you didn't get results. So let's hit it, Kim Dean.
Because I think when you put the 2 things together, that's when the magic happens.
Magic.
All right. So the things you've got to look at, and these are obvious, but if you're not a tracker, this is day 1 that you get to start tracking your business and everything that you've closed this year. So number 1, what was your total GCI? Like how much money did you actually make from this thing? Or is it more of a hobby, right? Because if you're not making money from the things you're doing, you have a hobby now. It's a very expensive one. So what was your total GCI and how many sides did it take you to get there? Because one thing that we can look at moving into next year is if you don't necessarily want to do more work, but you want to make the same amount of money or more, then we can focus maybe on shifting your average price point next year. And there's things we can do with that. But you got to know how many deals did it take to get you the amount of money that you earned? Basic, right? Number 2, how did you actually make the money? Like what were the sources? So that's why I have a spreadsheet and I track every deal that we do and we put where we got it from. And Courtney, you're laughing, but I know you do the same thing.
Yeah, I have a little paper and I write down.
Yeah, 'cause you're
Or
like,
people
"Hey,
think
I got my 195,000th referral today," and I'm like,
I'm on my 93rd, Kim. I'm on my 93rd from TikTok.
so and you wouldn't know that unless you were tracking that. So we're tracking it. We're saying, did this come from Sphere? Did this come from Open House? Was this a result of my mailers that I'm sending out? So you need to know where it's coming from. Because at the end of the year, if you find out, wow, over half my business came from open houses, then hey, double down on that shit next year or that stuff next year. We can cuss here. This is
You're on the
Courtney's.
Happy Agent podcast. Go ahead.
Okay.
Feel free.
Okay. And then also, what things were you doing during the year but just kept you busy? So, for example, the same open house thing, if you were doing it, but you got no business this year from doing it, were you doing it to get business or just to make your seller happy? And were you even happy showing up to that open house and doing it? So
I want
track
to
your,
interject here too. I
yeah.
think people who like to show up to an office, I think this is reflection time, guys. So don't you can come for me if you want. I don't really care anymore. But people will go to an office or feel like they need to go to an office because it gives them the sense of working. That if I'm at an office, even though I'm bullshitting and gossiping and having my 12th cup of coffee, they're not actually doing anything productive. It's just hanging out for hours and hours. So sometimes I find people really like to, if they like to go into the office, but are you being productive in the office? What's coming of it? And again, I always remind people nobody in a real estate office needs your help buying and selling real estate. So get the hell out of the office. But that's my okay.
Well, that's
Continue
actually,
on.
it's a perfect transition, Courtney Benson.
I know, I know.
So number 3 of the things that I audit, and that is how much time are you working in the business versus on the business? So what you're talking about might be working on the business. So this is, do I have my website looking the way I want it? Doing all the little things like that versus, are you actually talking to a client? Are you having converting DMs? Are you actually moving the needle by doing those types of things? Um,
It's
how much time are you spending in versus on the business? Okay. And so the only way we're going to know that is tracking again. So if you look back at your calendar and you find that, oh, I was in the office 30 hours a week and I didn't make my goal, well, maybe that's a correlation there, right? Because you were actually out where the buyers and sellers are. So
when
audit.
people say working in your business and on, I know what it means, but I never know which one applies to which.
To me, in the business is like in where I'm like doing contracts or I'm actually making income. That's what I correlate to it as being in the business versus on the
Like
business.
money making activities as opposed to on the business is framework.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, is that right? Okay, that makes sense.
Well, in
I
my
hear
head,
people
that's
say it,
what
and I'm like, which I don't know which one is which.
is you understand which is which, and you're spending.
I don't use the phrase just for that simple.
There you go. Okay.
Okay, I like it. All right. Where are we? Number 4.
Number 4, which expenses produced real ROI? Because we spend a lot of money in this business. You got to spend money to make money, right? So, is the money you're spending, is it actually producing you some kind of quality return? So, if you are an agent who spends money on lead, and I'm not knocking it if it works for you and if you're seeing the ROI, but most of the time, if you're spending money on that and you're not doing great follow up and you're not doing the things to convert it, you're not going to see the ROI. And you're not going to know that unless you're tracking that too. So again, coming down to what are you spending your money on? Are you spending your money on 10 different subscriptions for things? 'Cause it seems like in today's day and age, we can easily do that. You're like, oh, I'm just spending $19 a month on this, or I'm just spending $30 a month on this. But when you add it up, you need to itemize and say, did I make any business or any income from that thing? And so track that. You have a lot of subscriptions, Courtney?
I do. All of the audit questions and then the planning questions I'm going to make available for everybody. If you go to any of my social media sites, Instagram or TikTok, Facebook doesn't count, and click the link in the bio. you can scroll down to where it says the happy agent, log in there, give me your email, and I'm going to send out all these audit and planning questions for you. Can you repeat number 4?
That was, which expenses are actually bringing you a return on your investment? So you're auditing your money flow, okay?
Yeah,
And I was
I'm
saying
that.
that I have a lot of subscriptions too, and I'm justifying a new one this year, and that's
What's
my
subs
Newly clothes rental because I feel like as many events that we need to show up for and as many photo shoots and just feeling good, I'm like, "That's a justifiable
I'm
expense."
canceling mine because I rent it and then I loan it out to you because I never wear
Wow.
anything in the box. And so I'm like, okay, I gotta get rid of that this year.
But I like you keeping yours on then because
I
it doubles
know, it's like
the
a
number
double.
I can choose from.
It does. It does. We share
Contract.
we share a subscription box.
We do.
Okay,
Um,
so number 5, give us your number 5 business auditing tip.
okay. So at this time of year, look to see what your Q1 pipeline looks like. Like, what do you have going? Like, how many are pending? What do you have hot that you know is going to be listed in Q1? Like, you've had those conversations with clients. You're like, yep, we're going to work with you. That's coming in Q1. So you need to know what's coming in and what's going out. And how early are you starting those conversations? So I always say what you're doing now shows up 90 days from now. And so a lot of times that's why so many agents have like such a dry Q1 is because once we hit Q4, we're like, oh, finally I can rest, you know? And when we take our
Yeah,
foot off
you
the
gotta keep you
pedal,
can't. I know.
then we're like, oh, but wait, in quarter one in January, we hear crickets. We're like, oh, yeah, that's because 90 days ago, I was excited
I
about
was
home.
watching the Hallmark Channel. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So audit that. Just be self-aware to know that you're doing it, and it's okay if you're doing it, but then maybe just shift your energy and really 10x into the things that bring you joy this time of year and that bring you alignment and that you actually wanna do. So
Well, what are the conversations? Like, we always talk about, like, are you having the conversations? And I'm like, "Okay, like what? What do you mean conversations?"
So I think a great one to do this time of year, and really it fits in any time of year, but it depends on how you frame it. I like to say, hey, as part of my free service or to all of my clients, I want to sit down and just provide an equity checkup for you. I'm sure you've seen that the market is doing banana things over the last 3 or 4 years in DFW. And so I just want to provide some clarity as to what's going on and what your home value really looks like right now. And so when would be a good time to meet up and we can grab some coffee or we can go to happy hour and just read your client, but you're getting a face to face, right? And an easy way to do that too is calling and inviting them to something this time of year too. So I like backing that on. Like we always do a really big joint client appreciation party in December. And so I'm calling them to invite them to something fun. And I'm like, oh, by the way, don't forget it's time for us to get on each other's books so I can give you an equity update on your home.
Ooh, because that would be a lot for me. So my version of that would be to go and do a CMA for my homeowners, and I could print it out, have it available, maybe put it in with like a little Christmas or holiday card. And if you did one of those like pop by and get a pie parties, or you did something like that, you can give them their pie and their CMA and their home equity report at the
Mhm.
same time.
Yeah.
Because I tend to get leery about anyone who wants to have coffee with me.
Yeah.
If you ask me for coffee, I'm like, what do you want?
Right.
I don't
And
want to have coffee with you.
that's where it
Um,
comes into reading the client and knowing
yes.
what their thing
Yeah,
is.
or what you're comfortable with. So if, that way you've got this value, and maybe I like to give poinsettias because my son sells them for the baseball team, so it's two birds, one stone. I buy all of them, and then give them out. And so, maybe that is, because I'm not doing the Christmas party this year, my Christmas party this year, because cancer. So I'm gonna, maybe just drop off the poinsettias with
Yeah.
I like that, with the home equity report,
Yeah.
Kim Dean, that's so good.
Well, here's a hack too. If you don't have a kid on a baseball team like Courtney does, Sam Smith every year she goes to Home Depot or Lowe's on Black Friday, and all their poinsettias are like a buck 99, and so she
Oh, I
loads them in
spend
her car.
My decimal in that buck 99 is moved over one. But they're like gigantic sized. I mean, when you get mine, you really know I love you. And it's crazy. Yeah, I love those plants. So those are good for the holidays. So you could do something like that, or I'm pretty sure not to be bitter about it because somebody posted it in our group the other day, but like 10 years ago, I got the faucet cover and put my sticker on it. And I feel like I started that trend and I have yet to get credit for it. So I just want to circle back around and pat myself on the back. All you realtors who've been doing that, you're welcome. I started it. But that's also a nice little trend as it gets freezing to give them the faucet covers and you could put your logo on it if you wanted. But this isn't about me. This podcast is not about me. So I digress. Okay, so we got your 5 audit questions. So what's your total GCI this year compared to last year, and how many sides, meaning how many buyers and sellers did you have? Number
Yeah.
2, what lead source is actually converted and which ones just kept you busy? Number 3, how much time are you spending in the business versus on the business each week? 4, which expenses produce real ROI? And 5, what does your pipeline look like for Q1 and what conversations are you having? And we just had a really good one that you can be having now about giving equity reports, whether you do a pop by and drop it off at their front door, or you invite them to a reverse pop by where you ask them to come to you, or you reach out to them and say, hey, do you want to sit down and go over this? So for me, I would provide it and then provide the opportunity to have the conversation to review it. That's me,
There you go.
because we all do things differently, and that's
I
why
had
we're all so
another
great
take
together.
I heard another take on that too, where you print out a screenshot of their Zillow for their address and
Huh?
say, "Hey, do you agree with this or not? Let's talk about it."
Mm, mm, that is good. That is gaslighting right there. Yeah. Oh, I like that one. All right, let's talk about the energy audit
That's you.
because this is me because I'm a big proponent of this, and I get this when I teach social media classes or people will be like, "Well, I do video and it doesn't work for me. I'm not you. I don't, everyone has a reason as to why things don't work." And at the end of the day, it's your freaking charisma. It's your charisma. It is your energy. It is how you show up. If you show up like a dead ass, you get dead ass results. Dead ass. Like that. How many times can I say that? And really it's just an internal, like, people will show up and do the activities because they're checking a box.
Mhm.
And if you don't have the energy behind it being good, behind it working and believing that it's going to work, it won't work. Whatever you believe is true. Whatever you believe is your reality. So let's energy audit, shall we? Kim, I would like you to reflect on each one of these as I go through it, and I'm going to touch base with you on it.
Got it.
All right. Number 1, what parts of your business actually light you up and which ones drain you the fastest? What
Okay.
lights you up, Kim? I think I know this one.
Okay, see if you can
Spending
guess.
time with me,
Well, yes. Okay, top of the list.
top
Yes.
of the list. If I was
Courtney,
spitballing, it would be hanging out with Courtney.
yes.
Uh,
Right underneath that would
right on.
be would be events.
Oh, I knew it.
I know, but really it's just the magnet for all the relationships in my business. It just flows into everything. It helps me with then my marketing, from my visibility to all of it. And so events are just the glue that hold my business together.
All right. Which ones drain you?
Open houses. I I hope my clients aren't listening. I'm doing them to make you happy.
Yeah. I
Um,
I send
it
my husband to those.
It's also my, private quiet office hours too. I turn that into my mobile office, and I enjoy the time there, and I am making relationships, I am talking to people, but it's not my highest best use where I feel excited to be there. Yeah.
Um, for me, I think things that actually light me up, I love doing content and I love negotiating through things with people. Like, I love to negotiate a contract. I love to talk to clients and figure out exactly what they're looking for. And then I smile and then I surprise them with something that they were not expecting. Like yesterday, we closed on a house and it wasn't even on the buyer's radar to even look at this house. And I just pulled up, like, we're going into this. And they were like, "No, no, it's too small. No." They bought it. Like, it's that listening and then coming in with, like, "Surprise, look what I found for you." Like, I love that, but I love content. I like that type of, interaction. The things that drain me the fastest are the events.
We're so opposite.
Opposite. So opposite. I am good for, like, an hour, and then I'm just tapped out. Like, I give all my energy, and then I got nothing left, and I have to go retreat. Um So, as you're doing your audit, what parts of your business do you love and which ones drain you the fastest? All right, number 2, when did you feel most magnetic this year? The energy that drew clients to you.
Um, Honestly, I would say it's on at my one-on-ones with people, whether that's with agents, because in my business, yes, I do a lot of real estate with my husband, but a big chunk of how I spend my time is also meeting with agents one-on-one about their businesses. And I feel most magnetic when I can hear the problems people are giving me, and I know I have a solution for it. And I just feel really confident in that. And I think that confidence comes across and people see it and they feel like light at the end of the tunnel. And I'm providing that light. So,
That I love that too. I love talking about the things that I love. I love talking about social media and negotiations and sharing that. And when I get the feedback of, "Oh my gosh, I listened to your podcast. I love the content. I'm looking for an agent and I'm looking for an agent who, maybe they're out of my area who talks like you do, or you can help me," or things like that. Like, I'm sharing this information and people are taking it and applying it and having success.
yeah.
And that makes me feel so good, and it just that I love that, and I'm like, "Well, you know what? I was down the other day, and I had a call with an agent, and, it was a 30-minute call that she had booked with me, and she wanted to talk about her business, and she had sent me over a list of questions and asking about systems and stuff like that, and I was like, "You might have the wrong girl." Like, that is not me, and, I was just, like, having a down morning, and I'm like, "Ugh, I don't know if I can do it." Like, I don't wanna disappoint her, I
Yeah.
felt like I didn't wanna waste her time or disappoint her. And so Gabe went into the other room and she and I had a call and we instantly connected. Like, I loved her vibe. I loved her energy. I was so excited to talk to her. And I had such a nice 30-minute call. And when I hung up the phone, Gabe walked in the room and he goes, "You were so happy." I was like, "I know, like, I really loved that." So that felt good. I enjoyed that. So what are the things in your business that when you are happy and you know how you feel yourself smiling, but you forget you're smiling and all of a sudden you let down, you're like, "Oh, have I been smiling the whole time?" Like, it's those moments where you just absolutely love something and you don't even realize that you have a happy face on. Like, where are
Yeah.
those moments? Because when you live in those moments, that's when people come to you and you're attracting business.
I like how you put that. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Number 3, where are you still operating from fear, scarcity, or comparison instead of trust? Um, do you have that? Do you feel that? Fear, scarcity, or comparison?
I think comparison, uh, it creeps in. I'm almost knocking on the door for 49. And we're surrounded in being uh, on social media, seeing women who look younger and she's prettier than me and all that stuff. And so comparison has always crept in my world. Is if I'm being vulnerable, I've always had body image issues. And so I think that is still an evil that I'm trying to constantly overcome. And being in a business that relies so much on you being face forward, it's something that you have to deal with, I think, more than in other professions. I feel like, oh, if I'm a teacher or a CPA, then who cares?
Right.
But I don't know. I think this profession allows for that a lot. And
It's the
secondly,
TV shows.
yeah, that too.
It's the TV shows that perpetuate that. And some of
Yeah.
them, I mean, I see some videos on TikTok. I'm like, "Ma'am, what are you selling? What are you selling?" And I'd like to say no hate, but, there's a little hate there. Like, what the hell are you selling?
Yeah.
Uh,
And second, I think being in the business, this is now my 23rd year. And this was a tough year, and this market was bananas. And I think that when you hit those periods where your business goes down, I've now learned to be able to see it for like, okay, this is a time to breathe and regroup. But you still, in the back of your head, you're like, did I just sell my last home? Like, is that the last deal I'm going to do? And I know from history that that is not it,
I
but
know.
that can creep back in. And if you're new listening to this, it takes time, but you'll get there to appreciate the down seasons and the busy seasons.
Yeah. Well, it's the conversation that I had with that agent the other day, and she's newer to the business, and she's like, she was so riled up because she hears like all the top agents saying all of the things, and she's like, I can't catch up. And I'm like, well, I mean, for me personally, I've been doing this for 13 years, so my year 13 isn't going to look like your year one, and it takes time, but nobody wants to put in the work to take, not that they don't want to put in the work, they get impatient. But we all fight the same thoughts. The other day I was talking to somebody, and I was on a text, and she was like, well, I've got 2 listing appointments today. And instantly, one, I'm excited for her, so I'm not a hater, at least not after the first second. But initially, I'm like, I don't have 2 listing appointments. What the hell? I don't have 2 listing appointments. Like, why is everyone doing better than I am? Why? And then first of all, Gabe was like, we're literally walking out of the hospital right now, you ding dong. First of all, settle yourself. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I know, but why don't I have 2 listing appointments? Why don't, like, what's wrong with me? Where did I fall short to not have that? And we're having a really good year, and we'll continue with a good year. And I believe that to be true. But it's just that initial like, oh, where did I fall short that I don't have that? Now I don't know what that looks like for that agent, but and then, then I changed my attitude, and I got a couple referrals, and I actually referred them out. I didn't even take them. I referred them out. So there's that for a big FU to scarcity, because typically I would just take, okay, I'll take whatever. What if I don't sell another thing? What if I like, that still comes around, but, and you and I've had that conversation, because I got some referrals where I'm just like, these don't suit me. Like, in this moment in my life, I am not gonna be the agent that is the best to take this, and I can't be selfish and do it, and you were like, "Refer it out." And so I did, and I think at this point of the year, I've referred out probably about $6 million worth of business for
Okay.
2025.
Okay.
Yeah, and I feel good about it.
Different
Yeah,
seasons of your life, you'll refer out more, you'll refer out less,
that's
but
right.
yeah.
And I think I wanna say, I don't know that you get to a point where you don't have those moments of scarcity or comparison or anything like that. Even having sold a couple years ago, and it was our biggest year at $30 million, that was my worst year yet. I had more comparison behaviors and fear and scarcity than I had ever had. And so it's not that it goes away, and it's not that you should feel like a bad person when it creeps up, but
Yeah.
you just have to acknowledge it and move on from it. It's
Okay.
if you're still sitting with it in an hour or 5 hours or a day, then you need to do some internal reflection. But you gotta let the feeling come up, acknowledge it, and move on.
Yeah.
You can't mourn for something that wasn't meant for you anyways. What is meant for you will always come to you. And just because that opportunity is showing itself, maybe instead of thinking that opportunity is necessarily for you, maybe it's a reflection of something else.
Agreed. Yeah, totally.
I hear that noise again. I don't know. Okay. Number 4, do your current goals reflect who you are now or who you were when you set them?
I think my goals are still pretty on point for when I set them. And I think I've done a good job of being able to pivot if I need to adjust them. But no, I'm pretty solid. Like I know what I want to accomplish this year, and I feel it more this year than I have ever felt. And I think that that confidence has just grown. And so no, I feel in alignment with it. But it's a good question to ask yourself because I do think the person we are today is not the person we were January 1st. It shit's happened since January.
Boy, don't I know.
I know, you know that
Like,
better than anybody right now. So,
I wanted to do 35 million this year, and I'll come in probably just under 25 million, and then I referred out about 6 million. Um, I guess maybe next year I need to be more specific about getting that 35 million. And honestly, I don't even know that I want to do 35 million next year. I think I will probably lower that because there's other things that I want to do. I do enjoy speaking and want to include more of that in what I'm doing because I really did enjoy that this year. And so I did more of that than I anticipated that I would. I've sold over 500 books at this point from the book launch, and I'm getting ready to do a second rendition of it. A little more updated because I work on that every day, my Manifest Your Market book. And that has been hugely helpful. But I'm not the same person I was when I set my goal. Um, for this year. I'm not, you know. Cancer came knocking at the door
it did.
and, so that just changes stuff for sure, but not
Good,
in a bad way. I don't think it's in a bad way,
good.
you know. Yeah.
I'm happy to hear you say that, I think so many people had you not been so aligned, though, with your energy and in your daily practice of being in your book, then I who knows, someone facing this same scenario might not feel the same way about their
Yeah.
business, so
And
you're
I mean, there's moments of darkness that I feel like, oh, who's going to refer the girl with cancer and we've had those conversations. And in fact, when we were at Rise, I got to talk to Sharon and Sharon Srivatsa, and I had a conversation about it. Like, did I mess up sharing with the world that I have cancer? And he was like, no, keep sharing. And I think that's what people like about me is that I am open and I do share the shit parts that we go through, but it's all in really how you define it. Like, is it shit having cancer? Absolutely. Am I going
Mhm.
to have to go through stuff? Absolutely. But then I get to decide how I want to receive it. Like, I could cry. Like, the amount of people that have reached out to me to love on me, share their stories with me, support me is like insane,
Yeah.
absolutely insane. So I actually think it's a gift because I think it's a rare that you get to experience so much love when you're alive to see it. People save those for eulogies. So right, like I appreciate that people are sharing those things with me,
Yeah.
and I get to decide that this will only amplify getting to work with more people as next year rolls around. It's not going to inhibit or prohibit anything. I work with Gabe, so it's not like it's just me by myself. I have a whole team of people that show up for our clients anyways. So that's
You're just a pretty face.
I'm just the red lipstick in front of it. That's all, guys. All right, number 5, what's one energetic habit, morning routine, boundary, or belief that needs upgrading before 2026?
It's easy for me. It's my morning routine. You know me. If you're in my circle, you know that me and mornings don't usually go in the same sentence in a positive way. But I want to change that. I really, really do. I want to be the person like it was so like, I had this moment of envy when I was at my business planning retreat in Broken Bow, and this was my retreat, right? Set the stage here. There are 30 other women in this beautiful house with me, and by the time I got up, got dressed, ready to kick off the day, so many of the other women had had these beautiful moments sitting outside, looking at the pines, in their quiet time with God and, like, doing or working out. They've already walked 3 miles, and I'm like there's a part of me that envies that, and I don't know whether I just need to stop being lazy or just embrace that that's not my energy, and I have my energy at other parts of the day, so I don't know. I wanna be better, I just don't know. I don't know, Courtney, coach me on that.
I think you value your time being slow in the morning and getting out of bed and having your coffee in bed. So while that may be the thing that they value, it may not be the thing that you value, but you're seeing it because we're so used to seeing these curated images of like sitting out with coffee and having and I know, like, I see them, I'm like, "I just wanna go, like, sit in front of a fire in the woods with my coffee and, have a quiet moment." But the reality for me is when I go do that, my brain starts thinking about, "Oh, there's a snake over there. There's a bug on me. This fire pit is a little bit smoky. Shit, my coffee's cold now."
Mhm.
Like, we have a picturesque idea of how things should be, but the reality may not necessarily be that. So you could be wanting something that isn't actually so.
Yeah.
It's just the idea of it. But for
Yeah.
you, you love your slow morning routine of getting up and being present with yourself and your family and going through that. And that's your thing. And that you embrace that.
Okay.
Embrace that. You don't need to get up early and that's my thing. I get up early, I make coffee and either scroll on my phone or just sit and hang out with the dogs or whatever, because that's my quiet time. And now
I'm
Finley has adapted it because she goes to school so early and she doesn't like that I sit in the living room because now I'm impeding on her quiet time. So she'll come and sit in the office in the morning and she needs 15 to 20 minutes of sitting in the office with the door shut, the lights off, and she just looks at Instagram. Like that's her time.
yeah.
So, and we just need to do unapologetically, whatever that is. So do you think it needs upgrading or are you happy with it?
Well, like I said, there's a part of me that feels like I need to upgrade that.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you feel
so
like you need to upgrade it because other people's look more desirable or because it truly
no,
doesn't serve you anymore?
no, like I really wonder, like, if I understand the importance of moving your body and how there's a strong mind body connection. And I've been through different seasons of my life where I've just been in the gym a ton or I was really deep in my yoga practice. I'm in a season now where I haven't worked out in like a year. And part of me is like, you need to get back to that. And so I feel like that's an area I need to work on too. I guess it doesn't necessarily need to be in the morning, but just moving my body again or like getting it back into the yoga practice. Like when you and I went to that sound bath at
That was
the
fun.
like doing more of that. And so yeah,
Yeah.
needs
Well,
an
and
upgrade.
I think knowing that you're being drawn to it because you feel internally that you need a change or an upgrade or whatever it is, like those are the moments you need to seize and go find out what that piece is that you're missing. But if you're trying to upgrade or change simply because somebody on Instagram is doing it or because this guru over here is telling you that you need to do it, those are not connecting
Yeah.
things. Like you have to
No,
look internally.
yes, but I will say that there's a common denominator. So we were at Rise last week, right, down in Florida, and there is something to be said about the top performers in our company. They have something in common. They're getting up, they're moving their body every day. Every one of them, not one of them is out of shape. I mean, most of them have their shit together. And I'm like, there's a reason for that. They go hand in hand.
Yeah. Hmm. I wasn't there for that meeting, so I didn't put those together. All right, so let's move into the planning phase. And what are your 5 tactical planning questions or insights?
Yeah, so I actually have a slightly different spin on that. I like to this year at the retreat, I told the ladies, I'm like, think of your business like a table with 4 chairs, okay? And if one or not 4 chairs, with 4 legs. And if one of the legs is weak or broken, it's going to topple. And so those 4 are your relationships because real estate is built on relationships. You've got to constantly have those. 2, it's going to be your visibility or your marketing. If people don't know you exist, that's a
Mhm.
problem. It's going to be your growth or your profit. So, like, are the things that you're doing bringing you money? Or are you spending more than you're making? And then the last one is da, 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 probably systems and consistency. So, providing that quality service to each and every client. Like when you get a referral, what are your steps from there? When you get a new buyer, what are your steps? So all four of those things. And so what I tried to tell the ladies this year, and as I'm going into my business planning boot camps that I'll be doing in November, December, is we need to focus on in those four categories, like find three things that need help each quarter. So that way you're not having to focus on servicing all four areas because that feels very overwhelming.
Yeah, it does.
Like,
Yeah.
but, like, go into each quarter and be like, "Okay, this month this quarter, I need to focus on where can I cut $250 a month from my expenses to improve that," right? Relationships. I need to go deeper with my relationships, so maybe I'm gonna do a monthly, intimate dinner with some of my top referrers, right? And that's just one thing. And then go to the visibility and marketing category. I'm like, "Okay, I really wanna increase my followers or increase my conversion on social media," right? And so there are tactical things you can do within each of those 4 things, but don't focus on all of it all the time because then you become an overwhelm. And so I wanna say just find 3 things each quarter to work on. So that went away from your question, but honestly, I feel like it's a more digestible thing that agents can do as
Yeah.
they approach their
And
business.
what if you miss one? Do you carry it over? Like, what if I only hit one that quarter? Do you
Sure.
carry it over? Do you let it go? How do you handle that?
So the analogy that I gave was
Not that
think
I
about
would.
so the analogy I gave was think about the house, right? And think about there are systems of the house. There's the foundation, the roof, the electrical, plumbing, all the things, right? We aren't always paying attention and maintaining every system of our house at all times. There are seasons. So one season might be, oh, the foundation, we really need to start watering that this quarter. And the roof, there's some patches I need to fix the shingles, right? So if you don't take care of those three things that quarter on your house, you're going to need to carry it over because it's not going to get better. Does that make sense?
A really good analogy, Kim Dean. This is why
Thanks.
you're here. This is why you're in the hot seat.
Hey,
The brilliance. And we need to schedule something because I know with everyone in your network, and I'm in your network because you sponsored me at Real, you do business planning with everybody. I feel like mine's gonna be a little lengthy, but
I'm
I'll
here for
provide
it.
the bottle of wine.
I'm here for it.
I know. All right, let's talk about the 5 energetic activities that we can do to go along with Kim's brilliant framework.
Okay.
Because remember, if we've got the framework, but we don't if you have the house and the house isn't plugged into energy, it's not gonna be as good.
No, there's no
I
Wi-Fi, there's no electricity.
There's no electricity. I mean, we're going deep with this. That just came to me. That just came to me. I'm kind of impressed too. All right, what are your 5 energetic attraction and presence and highlights? So, number 1, align your brand and business goals with who you actually are, not who you think you need to be. And I tell people this all the time. Like, you have to be who you are. If you don't handle things through humor, if you're fact based, if you're whatever you are, that's what you need to be because it's not sustainable. And we're really good at detecting bullshit more so than ever. People are more intuitive to feelings.
Can I say something real quick? So there was a
Yeah.
study that I heard of, and it was at a conference, and they said there's a study, and it's scientifically proven that every emotion you feel emits a different frequency. And what was so interesting is that one of the top things that you can feel is not love, it's authenticity. You can immediately tell if someone's being authentic when you're talking to them, right? That bullshit meter goes off.
Yeah.
So if you try to show up on social media being a luxury agent and that is not you, but yet you try you right, you can tell. You're like,
Yes, you
"You're
can
not being
tell.
authentic." But if
Yes.
you're just a geek and you own it and you know you love spreadsheets like me, then you'll feel that, right? You know it.
You
I'm not
know
lying.
it. Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
and there's you pick up on these little micro expressions with people and you can tell when somebody loves what they do and what they're, or versus if they're faking it. Um, I always think this when we go to events and stuff, and I'm very aware of like people on the peripheral, like you, like if as you're walking through a group and you can see when people see you and acknowledge you, and then they come up later and they're like, "Oh my God, hi, I didn't see you." Bullshit. You just literally saw me. Like you, like this is, I pick up on that. I think we all do, but nobody says it. I'm saying it. I'm
You start
saying it. I
calling
know you
people
saw
on it
me. I
now.
know you saw me yesterday and you ignored me. That's fine. I don't care. Fine. Fine with it. All right. Number 2, focus on showing up with consistency and charisma, not perfection. Dear God, this one again, I hammer over and over again. If you are lackluster in how you show up, no matter what it is, you will have lackluster results. So find who you are, find what you love, and show up with the energy of loving it, because that's when you attract clients. That's when they come to you. That's when you attract good things in your life because of that frequency that you mentioned. All right, number 3, protect your energy, set boundaries around time, people, and platforms that drain you. I see you, YouTube. That's me with YouTube. I cannot. I just can't. Um, Although this podcast will be aired on YouTube, but I pay somebody to put it there.
So you're not even spending the time there.
Not even spending the time. I don't like it, so I pay somebody else to like it for me. That's good. You gotta know what is draining you and setting boundaries around that. Okay, number 4, reignite joy through movement, gratitude, and creativity. Your energy sells more than your scripts.
Ooh.
We talked about that actually at the conference. Is
Mhm.
that it's people read your energy more than they hear your words. 60% of what people pick up on is body language. And I talk about this when I do my social media training. By the way, somebody is coming up to my house to deliver something, and the gardener's here. Like, this podcast has been put through it.
I hear the blower. I hear the leaf blower.
Oh my God, whatever. Um,
This is authenticity though,
this is
Courtney.
authenticity. And this is just a very uh in your face version of you just show up. Like,
Mhm.
perfection doesn't exist. You show up. I don't have a fancy podcast studio. I don't do any of this. This is in my home. If you pan out, you can see the holes that I need to patch on my walls. Oh, right there. There it goes. Have I gotten to it? No. Will I? I don't know. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You just show up.
Mhm.
There's more value in showing up than worrying about everything being perfect. You just show up. Um, Number 5, practice daily embodiment. So act, post, and speak like the version of who you already are to hit your 2026 goals. So be that, like they say, dress for the job that you want. Be the person that you want to be who is receiving those things. So, if you want to receive good things, you have to be a good person to receive good things.
Or
So
write
be
them
that
down
person.
as if they've already happened, right?
Like in
Absolutely.
a real estate journal
Yeah, like if only
sold
there were a journal.
exclusively on Amazon.
Yes. Yes. Perfect.
How'd that get there? That's so weird. Was that authentic at all? That read authentically?
Blue.
Actually, it was just sitting here. Um, well, thank you, Kim. It is 11 o'clock. We struggled through the
Yeah.
podcast. This will be played back on YouTube, on Facebook at the Happy Agent Podcast, as well as Spotify. Hopefully, we can filter out some of the sounds. And when we do, people will be like, what the hell are they talking about? It sounds fine. It's fine. But I appreciate your time. We all do. You have brilliant insight into framework. And when we do framework and focus on our energy, big things happen. So let's revisit this topic again. And before the end of the year, I appreciate you. I've got Lacey Brucci coming up in future podcasts where we're going to talk about what AI looks like, what social media looks like for 2026. Are there new trends, things that we need to hop on? I've got Ryan Gillen, too, my business therapist, will be coming up again to talk about our energetics as we go in, because sometimes December can bring either some depression or joy. So there's like two camps. Like, how do we pick the right camp and stay in it so our energy is high and we're attracting the things that we want. So thank you, Kim Dean. Love
You.
you.
Thank you. Love
And
you.
I'll see you. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Happy Agent Podcast. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.